Hello, how are you all today? I hope you are doing well. My name is Tasia, and I am the current cultural ambassador for Chardin Anthropological Society, as well as a junior here at Loyola. And I am so happy to host the Multicultural Expo for this evening. So let's get started. So it's important before we get into the performances to kind of introduce Chardin Anthropological Society, which is a club here on campus that is, concerned with talking about anthropology and the four subfields of anthropology, which happens to be biology, archaeology, linguistics, as well as cultural anthropology. It's important to have these discussions with anyone, really. You don't have to be an anth major or minor, but all are certainly welcome. But I bring this up today because cultural anthropology is kind of that bridge between Chardin and the Multicultural Expo. So cultural anthropology, or cultural anthropologists, study how people who share a common cultural system organize and shape the physical and social world around them, and are in turn shaped by those ideas, behaviors, and physical environments. So one of the most important things about cultural anthropology is we have people who subscribe to belief systems or cultures and have certain values, but we also have them looking into or studying different cultures. And it's not something that's supposed to be evaluative, because our values and our culture are something that's important to us, but that doesn't mean that it's more important than other people's cultures. So that's kind of an important thing to keep in mind as we look at these performances and watch these dancings, and also, look at these art pieces and stories. So here's a bit of a table of contents that's going to, help us through this evening. So we'll see musical performance from LUC ROG. I'll introduce you to some of the e-board members with Chardin. We'll see a dance performance with Kapwa, and then we'll introduce you to the final e-board members, as well as we'll hear some storytelling from students, or we'll look at an art piece from a student submitted. So bear with me. So the Chardin Anthropological Society would like to present the 2021 Multicultural Expo, COVID edition. We certainly wish that we could be in person and watch these beautiful art displays and see these performances, because that's truthfully the best way to see them. But as we are in a pandemic, that's unfortunately not an option. So we are really happy and grateful that the clubs that have submitted things and the students that have submitted things have really been able to change things up and present them through this mobile platform so that all of you can view it. So with that in mind, the Multicultural Expo is an opportunity for Loyola University Chicago's many organizations to come together and share various forms of art, cultural traditions, and experiences with the general student body. Through this storytelling, we hope that people can understand the experiences of individuals who lead lives with discrimination, lack of representation, and adversity. Thank you for your listening ear. So first up, we have our musical performance. So LUC ROG will be giving us a beautiful a cappella rendition.
All hot girls, put your hands up and say, Om Shanti Om. All cool boys, come make some noise and say, Om Shanti It's the time to disco. 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 It's the time to Om Shanti Om. It's the time to disco. It's the time to Om Shanti Om. It's the time to disco.
Wow, that was amazing. That was so good. Wow. So LUC ROG. LUC ROG is an a cappella team that encourages collaboration and creativity through the musical fusion and performance of both South Asian and Western music while promoting diversity throughout campus. We are currently a team of 12 members who all identify as South Asian. Our music is a product of our love for singing, our sense of home on this team, and a desire to preserve and share our culture. This is a wonderful group on campus, and if you identify with any of these groups or you really like a cappella, I would seriously check them out. They are amazing people. So to kick off our first introductions for eBoard, we have Roshni, who is an anthropology major and a biology minor. She is one of our co-presidents, and she's a senior, unfortunately. Her anthropology interests are in linguistic and specifically in healthcare. And a fun fact about her is she's a black belt in Taekwondo. Watch out. And then our other co-president is Jenna, who is also an anthropology major. You'll typically see a bit of a trend here. She has minors in French, Arabic, and Lang and Lit. She's also a senior, really sad. And she has an anthropology interest in language endangerment and revitalization. And a fun fact about her is she's allergic to Parmesan cheese. And then we have Nainina, who is a sociology and anthropology major, as well as a global and international studies major. She is a senior as well. And her anthropology interests are in structural inequalities within education for marginalized communities. A fun fact about her is she's learning how to play cello. That's so cool. I love the cello. So here are a few of our first three eBoard members as well. Nainina was our organizational director. So yeah. So our next form of art will be dance. So we have a dance performance from Kapwa. Wow, that was gorgeous. Oh, that's such a good performance. So Kapwa, their submission was of the Pandango Saala. Pandango Saala is a Philippine folk dance which has become popular in the rural areas of the Philippines. The dance evolved from Fandango, a Spanish folk dance which arrived during the Hispanic period. It is said to have originated from Mindoro, the seventh largest island in Philippines. This dance of the light simulates fireflies at dusk, which is with its usage of candles, families of fishermen would perform this as a way to guide them back to shore. So Kapwa is a wonderful organization as well. So again, if you see a group of people that you really identify with, I really highly recommend that you check them out. You could probably look them up through LUC community. So next up we have storytelling. So our first story that we will see today is actually an art piece that was submitted by Gabby Turdos. She has this painting hanging in her house, and it's also not a personal painting of hers, but it's something that she really identifies with in her culture and her family, and it's super important. So the total liberation of Africa. So here's the art piece. So the total liberation of Africa, this is a famous painting that's in my house. It's called The Total Liberation of Africa, and it's by Afawak Teko. It was commissioned for the United Nations Economics Commission of Africa in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It's one of the most famous pieces of artwork that Ethiopia is known by, and it's originally a stained glass window. But most people in my culture have it as a silk scarf or as a painting. And the painting is in expressionism style. And he typically does Christian or biblical art pieces since my country is very religiously tied and we're Orthodox, him being the artist. This art piece, it's similar to a biblical story of how in the past Moses freed the Jews and Noah saved the animals and the world, and then Jesus saved us in the past and in the future too. The painting has all of the African nations and the country's flags in a square surrounding it, and it shows the founding fathers of Africa battling poverty and disease. It has the past of Africa, present Africa, and the future of Africa in the art piece. So that was a message from the student Gabby, telling you a bit about the art piece. And so here's one last look at that art piece. And it really is beautiful. And it's wonderful. So you can definitely check out the artist's other work. But like Gabby mentioned, this is part of her Ethiopian culture. And before we move into our last story, we have the last introductions of our e-board members. So first up, we have Evan, who is our treasurer. So Evan is an anthropology major. They minor in Italian. They're a sophomore, and they are interested in bioanth. And a fun fact about Evan is they hosted 5 exchange students in high school. That's pretty wild. Next up, we have Ben. So Ben is an anthropology and biology major. He's a senior, and he also has an interest in bioanth. And a fun fact about him is he likes to hike and has climbed Mount St. Helens, which is beautiful. And then last up, it's me. Hi. So again, my name is Tasia. I major in anthropology and forensic science. I'm a junior here, and I have interest in bioanth or bioarchaeology. And a fun fact about me is I have a minor obsession with human bones. Maybe not so minor, but that's for another discussion. So our final storytelling today is a story written by actually one of our co-presidents, Roshni Cole, and it is entitled The Plight of Kashmiri Pandits. So though the story is very long, so if you want to read it, and I highly suggest that you do, you can pause the video in between the 2 slides, but I can give you a bit of a synopsis. So senior Roshni Cole shares an essay about her ethnic background as a Kashmiri Hindu. Conversations about culture tend to revolve around traditions and practices, yet violence, displacement, and trauma are also part of the narrative. She believes that anthropology provides the structure in order to broaden our conversations about culture and has experienced this in her coursework at Loyola. Roshni's community is small yet mighty. Despite having a culture as a mode of connection and belonging, despite having diaspora separated across the globe, their culture is deeply rooted in India, and they use their culture as a mode of connection and belonging. Read Roshni's full essay by coming back to this point in the show, of course, and it will be posted online as well. So here's the first bit of the story. And here's that second slide that wraps up the rest of the story. And it's truthfully a wonderful story. So I really highly recommend that you pause the video and that you read through it. All right, so as we're moving to close this expo, something that we really wanted to give people opportunity for is perhaps a donation. So if you do happen to have some extra cash lying around, Chardin Anthropological Society is a club that's dedicated to opening these conversations and providing experiences for students to really broaden their horizons. And one of the best ways we've been able to do that is with this type of expo, this Multicultural Expo, which is bringing so many clubs around campus together. And while currently we're doing it through this platform and we've posted it online, in the future we really want to make it in person and see these performances live and give people a platform that they can share their culture and experiences with. And in order to do that, it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of time, and it takes quite a bit of money. So if you do have a moment and you feel particularly giving, you can Venmo at Evan Ketchmark, and just make sure that you put in the description that it's a Chardin donation. But please do not feel obligated to. If you would like to feel giving, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, so another plug before we finish off tonight. So LUC Anthropology Department's Racial Justice Examen Committee presents student-to-student chats. So this is really an opportunity to kind of discuss your thoughts and feelings about what's happening at Loyola, whether it be in the classroom, whether it be with administration. If you have things that you want to get out and you want to talk to someone, this is a really wonderful opportunity to do so. So they invite you to join us in a conversation about race, discrimination, and prejudice within the classroom and course curriculum. Their goal is to evaluate students' voices and thoughts to incite change in the department with the support of our professors. So specifically, this is the Anthro department, but I'm sure that they have opening ears for any department if you feel willing to talk about it. So if you would like to participate, participants will be entered into a raffle for $10 gift card, and 4 winners will be chosen. So you can sign up with our Instagram link in our Instagram, and it will show you our Instagram in just a second. So please, it's so important to have these conversations open, and we have our Anthro department here with listening ears. All right, so it's important just to plug those 2 clubs that really specifically, made those grand performances and were able to edit it in such a way that was as real as they can make it in person, but of course through this mobile platform. So we have Kapwa. So Kapwa strives to encourage others to learn and experience the cultural traditions based on kinship, devotion, and perseverance through the shared experience of Loyola's Philippine community. And then you have LUC ROG, which was the a cappella group that encourages collaboration and creativity through the musical fusion and performance of both South Asian and Western music, while promoting diversity throughout campus. So again, you can find both of these clubs on LUC Community. So please check them out. They are amazing. So finally, thank you so much for joining me today and listening and hearing all these wonderful performances. If you have any questions or concerns, or really just want to kind of open that conversation with us, you can email us at chardinloyola@gmail.com. If you would like to follow us and see what we're up to, we are at Chardin LUC on Instagram. And again, you can use our Instagram to access that link. But yeah, so thank you all for coming, and I'm so happy that we could make this happen tonight. And of course, have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll see you again next year. All right, bye.